So, what did you find out? Did you find something?
We found an answer in the group.
I know. I mean, that is from Gautam. That's not yours anyway. But it's not a complete answer anyway. It's okay. It's understood most of it.
Actually, while reading that answer from that person, I couldn't find much deviation from what I was speaking yesterday to you. So
I'm not saying it is wrong, but I need the source, the condition, and the reason. Yes, Ashwin.
So, Miss, I am thinking on that what he returned. So, up to first Jan, second Jan, third Jan, I able to understand his answer. Not able to understand that answer for the fourth Jan person. Because in the fourth Jan, that person is already, everything is not there. All the desires is not there. There is no selfness in the fourth Jan. So, that particular thing's explanation, I'm not able to understand from that answer. Up to third Jan or the all the first one, second, or the whatever the 5 way, out of 5 way, 4 way, I am able to relate that.
Okay. No worries. Yes, Bobby.
Yeah. So Vilasji, I think what yesterday I was talking is, and from the sutta you have shared that as a reference, the one Buddha always says, what he considered this particular thing still the four jhana as a wrong view. It is that's what he says according to the Brahmacharya Sutta. But you say that it is exactly the same wording and everything in other suttas what he has mentioned. So what I understood is that in the four jhana or even the higher jhanas up to 8 jhana, Buddha says there is a pleasure is there, but I don't say that this pleasure is the complete happiness. But when he transcends that nevasanya, the neither perception, because there is a perception and feeling is there in that jhanas. But when you transcend that, which is unconditioned, that is where the real happiness is, and that is also a happiness which is included. And that's what he said. But I don't know how I can put it. But the one he is talking about in Brahmacharya Sutta, there he says it is conditioned. That fourth jhana is not. It is not a nibbanic state. It is not a nibbanic state. It is still a conditioned happiness or conditioned pleasure. The feeling. The perception and the feeling is still there in that equanimity, whatever he's saying. It is he didn't reach a nibbanic state. He only reached the jhanas. So I don't know whether I put it correctly, but that is what I understood from the answer what he has written also. And he also says always you say that there is a 4 levels of self. One is the self of mind, and then the ayatanas and the fasa and the name and form. So till that it is completed, that self is still there. So is that anything correct or?
No, you see, all of you are saying, I'm not saying none of you are wrong. That's not the thing.
So I think what you wanted, that is not coming, right? What you actually.
What's the source?
Okay, source.
I need 3. I need the source, I need the condition, I need the reason. Yes,
So it is the craving. Craving is the source.
No,
not craving. It's a remark. Carry over.
Yeah, I didn't get too much time to deeply contemplate, but I was also thinking the craving doesn't go away by itself, because there is still the Four Noble Truth that there's kamatanha, bhavatanha, vibhavatanha. Getting fulfilled, satisfied doesn't mean the craving goes away. And that I was just only at that level.
No, the craving comes first and then the bhava happens. It's not the other way around. You can't have bhava and then start crave for that bhava. It would be wrong. It would be different kind of patisamutpada which doesn't exist.
No, I was
So
just
is
only
it
saying. Oh, go ahead, Bobby.
is it ignorance is the source?
Yes, ignorance is anyway there. So the question comes, what's the reason for ignorance? If at all, we see all those five is indicated. It's all about Nibbana. Now those people have come to you asking, what do you think? Now you have to guide them, let's say. And what's the source? What's the source of it? For what they are saying, what's the source of it? And what you are saying, what's the source of it? And what are the condition? On which condition are they saying it? And which condition are you saying it? And what is the reason for they not getting it? And you say, this is what you need to do. It should go in that way. That's how Buddha would expect any one of us to answer. By now, you should know it. That's why I said that. Otherwise, it's very easy for me to give you an answer and close it. And then we can debate. Yes, Saryu.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday when you were asking these questions before, before I was giving the answer, I was just thinking if these logic were true, then all the Brahma, they would have been extinguished because they're always in that. And by the end of whatever lifespan they have, or they should get extinguished. But it's not
That's
so the.
See, that's
Yeah.
correct. See, just see this. What's the source for an anagami? What's the condition for an anagami? What is the reason for being an anagami? Because he's not released.
Yeah, the Kamasava has been, eliminated.
Yes. Yes, Gautam. I can't hear. Okay, anyway. So if you all have tried and you don't have any further try, and then we can continue.
We can say like that, in the suttas it says this whole teaching is originated from the blessed one. So let the blessed one answer the question. And that's what
Come on.
no, I'm not taking you, but that's how the disciples would say that, let's answer it. Because
I think you ended with all the answers.
yes, we have tried, I think this is all what I can think about.
Done. Yes, sir. You.
I think when I read Gautam's answer, I know he cannot speak right now. So just when I read his answer, I think the logic that I agree. I mean, I always have this logic is that the satisfaction and ending of craving are, satisfaction does not lead to ending of craving. Ending of craving leads to itself. You have to work on reducing the asava for craving or whatever that's called. And just getting fulfilled.
No, you have misunderstood it. Without satisfaction, there can't be ending of suffering. Please read the Samanya Pala Sutta carefully. Okay, it's you need to have satisfaction, santosa, contentment.
I think the Gautam has written, it is the consciousness. So in Buddha, sometimes it says, this consciousness and ignorance, conditioned each other. Like when the ignorance conditions consciousness and the consciousness conditions ignorance, he reverses it. Sometimes it asks, what is the condition for the ignorance? Then he says it is consciousness. And so this keep going.
Basically, there is no person, so it is only consciousness. Everything we are talking is in terms of consciousness. We have a wrong consciousness, we have a right consciousness. That wrong consciousness can be called as ayoniso manasikara, and a right frame of mind or consciousness can be called as yoniso manasikara. So there shouldn't be any debate whether it is a consciousness or not. I think we are past that stage. If not, then we have gone back to the starting point. There is no person, it's only the consciousness, as simple as that. There's only Rupa and there is consciousness. There is nothing else. Rupa plus Nama plus consciousness. That's it. There's no one there. Yes, May.
Sorry, I came a little bit late. But what was the question? Sorry, initial question that everyone's trying to answer.
Then you should attend. You should have attended yesterday, so you should have seen the video.
Okay, thanks.
But you can ask in the simple terms, see what answer May would give. We're happy to have one more people on our side.
It's nice to have again question.
Okay, May. By popularity, we were looking at the Brahmajala Sutta where he talks about Nibbana. So other sectarian people come and say this is Nibbana. So there are 5 things there. One is that one is contented where he gets all that he wants in terms of kama, sensuality, and he's contented. So another ascetic will say that, yeah, I don't disagree in what you're saying, but I think the first jhana is the best one. And then they go to the second jhana and third and fourth. So I was saying that if you read the Pali and you read what Buddha says, the word to word is the same. And in that case, why it becomes wrong view? That's the question.
Another thing I notice in there is, he doesn't talk about anatta. He talks about only viparinama.
Viparinama is there. No, if you read Mahadukka Kanda Sutta, you please open that up and see the Vedana portion of it. He uses Viparinama in all the 4 jhanas.
So that in that is it said they are extinguished? Nibbana, they have reached the extinguished.
Please read that. You will come to see exact words.
I was thinking, as long as there's a slight sense of self, there's always going to be, it doesn't matter whether you're contented or not. It's just, if there's a sense of self, you're going to always be trying to satisfy the self. I could be completely off.
No, but May, it's not the question. See now, who is the self? That's my question. Now, if you say there is no self, then you're wrong. Then who is the person who is getting into anagami? Nobody, right? Or sotapanna, forget anagami. Why are you so worried about whether I'm a sotapanna or not? Who cares? Then you come to uchedavada. That means after death, that's it, over. There's no self. The self get extinguished.
It's in the memory, isn't it? Like there's a creation of like the nama bit, the creation of with the memory, the sense of self is in there.
May, please answer in a proper way. If you say nama and this and that, it's just adding words to, do you have a self or don't you have a self is my question. If you say I don't have a self, then answer to me, why do you want to go to Buddha Dhamma? To lose the self? If you say yes, that means who will become Sotapanna then?
I'll wait for Vilasji to answer.
And the question shouldn't come whether it is consciousness or what it is. It is consciousness. It is indeed consciousness. What else is life? It's a conscious experience. That's it. Eyes cannot have an experience, ears cannot have an experience, nose cannot have an experience. You think they have experience? No. You think the object has an experience. That is, the mobile phone has an experience, the body has an experience, minusing the consciousness, you mean to say. Or the car has an experience, or a airplane has an experience, or a bed has an experience. No, none of those has an experience. Only when the consciousness comes to be, there is an experience. So if we have this basic question, that's this consciousness which is thing, what else you should know? That's all you need to know. So who is getting Nibbana? It's consciousness only. So the consciousness gets extinguished. That's all what it is. So then the question comes, is consciousness permanent or impermanent? Is consciousness one thing or the body another thing? Or is consciousness and body the same thing? That's exactly what Vachagutta is asking, or any other ascetic is asking Gautama Buddha. Tell me which one is correct so that I can understand it properly. And our friend doesn't answer. He answers that in this Brahmajala Sutta. So the question comes, who is seeing 40 eons? It's the consciousness. Obviously, who else? So first and foremost, understand it is a consciousness which knows everything. You don't know anything. There's no you to know it. It's the consciousness. So why then the ascetics got wrong? Because they created a self other than consciousness. There's no self. It's only consciousness. There is no my consciousness. There's only consciousness. That's it. So what's the source? The source is the consciousness. What is the condition? The splitting of consciousness is a condition. What is the reason? Seeing it separate is the reason. So what's the answer? It's Vijnana is the answer. Nothing else. So, who is getting into Sotapanna? The Vijnana. Who else? In the Vijnana, it has a self. Self-view, I am, because it knows, and hence the self-view. If there were no knower, then there won't have been any self-view. So what happens here, like explained in the Mahatanha Sankhya Sutta also, between Sati and the Buddha, it's not that Sati is wrong. That poor chap has not done any mistake. He was saying to him, there is one consciousness which continues throughout. And Buddha said, no, there is no consciousness which is permanent. Why? Only if there is a condition, there seems to be a permanency. But if there is no condition, the condition is removed, then the consciousness will extinguish. What's the point? So there are 6 consciousness. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness. Each one do their function. That's the reason yesterday I was asking someone, whether I don't know whether here or in Hindi. I think yesterday it was here only. Can you make eyes eat something and ear eat that very thing? Only the mouth will have it because it knows. Got the point? It's a knower. As long as there is a knower, there is an experiencer. As long as there is an experiencer, there is a feeler. and there's a perceiver. So the experiencer is the feeling, and the perceiver is the perception. So the knower has feeling and perception. So if by chance the consciousness were to not perceive, then there is no feeling. It can cut off the feeling. Now the question comes, how? Why Buddha did not agree with those ascetics? They are almost near, because it's a phassa, the contact. You have to cut the contact. Contact between what and what? Contact between the eye and the object, ear and the sound, tongue and the taste, body and the touch, mind and the mental object, nose and the smell. If the consciousness were to cut the objects, that's it, Nibbana. So they were almost close, but not quite right. And hence it became a distorted view. So as we go down there, Buddha talks about phassa. He says, I don't agree with anyone, not because they are wrong. They have not understood phassa. Like in the Goenka tradition, they only talk of Vedana. They don't go one step up. It's phassa. So unless somebody knows phassa, he can't get into anagami stage or arhat stage. Why? Because phassa is the mula, is the root of it. Right? He says all 62 views have come into existence because of phassa, the contact. Although we might keep on arguing on that. Contact with what and what? There is an object here. Object by itself will not do anything to you. I by itself will not do anything to that. But the consciousness will do it. So you have to do animitta. You have to do animitta, because that's what is conditioned consciousness. I told you some time ago, 3 levels of consciousness. First level of consciousness is what is trained, what been told to you. That is ayoniso manasikara, if you like to use it. Why? It's called Bobby or Ariu or this or that or Bangalore or America or Australia, and all of this is just a label. And that's what you're holding on to. When a person goes to sleep, all those are removed. Just like a wave coming and throwing out everything. You don't remember anything when a person goes into sleep. He has no family. He has no home. He has no car, no business, no job, no country, no continent, nothing. No bed either. Also no body of his own. So nothing is owned. Eso na mama. This is not mine. And that's true. But it's wrongly assumed to be true. Eso mama. Eso na aham asmi. This does not belong to me. But because I'm seeing and hearing and tasting and touching and smelling and thinking, it belongs to me. And the third one, eso na me atta. This is not myself. I cannot be myself. Ears cannot be myself. Nose cannot be myself. So the 6 senses cannot be yourself, because that yourself goes away once a person sleeps. There is the self. There's the first level. Then the subconscious experience. When you're sleeping, a mosquito is coming, so you will hit it. While even deep sleep. Why? Because there is a subconscious experience of something biting, or some heat coming out, or some throbbing, or some palpitation, urination. You feel like going to urine, or to the toilet, or you're getting menstrual cycle, or whatever it is. There's a subconscious thing. The first one is gone, but the second one is alive. So what this alive thing will do? It will wake you up. It will wake the body up. So the body gets up. So the brain will trigger a response to it that something is not okay. And then you pick up. That's a subconscious thing. So all our impressions, conditioning impressions, as in the case of liking, disliking, and all of that, is there in subconscious. Call it as conscious, or call it as mind, it doesn't matter. Then we come to the third one, unconscious, completely unconscious. So when a person is in deep sleep, that unconscious mind is the watcher, is the knower. So the first layer of consciousness is gone, and the second layer of consciousness is connected to the first layer. But this third layer of consciousness is the one which takes on form after form, and that has to be made conscious. Okay? That knows all the previous lives. Okay. So the objective here is to wake up that. Hey, get up. And that is what is witness consciousness. It's witnessing the first level consciousness and the second level consciousness. It's now start witnessing, because it can get extinguished, and all the supernormal powers and everything is there in that third level consciousness, which is unconscious. Whatever you call as intuition or deja vu or this or that, whatever terms is there in that unconscious existence. So what is Buddha trying to do with this anicca, dukkha, anatta is to cut off these two consciousness. That is the first level, condition one. Second level, subconscious one. All the deep mind which is just sleeping, no idea. Waking it up, saying that, hey, listen, your time is up. And it wakes up because it can see the dukkha of not getting up. And it was thinking these two are atta, first one and second one, saying that there's anatta. There's no self. Okay. So that is how you can answer. So it is the consciousness only. So there's anybody shouldn't get doubt here. It's the consciousness which feels I am and perceives I am. So to cut out the perception of I am, and the feeling of I am is gone, because there's no I am. So 4 levels. First level, the named one, the conscious, vilas, the named one. Absolutely fair. And when you cut out that, you will see it as 5 khanda. What is a khanda? Khanda means trunk, like a tree trunk. Consider 5 trees. if you like. It's like somebody holding a tree and thinking that it is his, it is he. Okay? Now, you need to divide it into 5. So the first trunk is Rupa, just the Rupa. There's nothing there. Just the Rupa of 4. Dhatu, or the quality, solid, liquid, air, fire. That's it. So what does it consist? Only these 4. That's it. Nothing more. Now what's this feeling? The feeling is based upon the Rupa. The consciousness, if you were to ask, give me a simile, I will take from Sariputta, who has written very well in Patisambhidhamagga Pali. Dittikatha. There's a flower. The flower has a fragrance. Consciousness is like the fragrance. You can't see the consciousness. In the same way, you can't see the fragrance. But as long as the flower exists, the fragrance exists. As long as the body exists, so the consciousness exists. How the confusion comes. Is consciousness inside this flower, or the flower has taken the consciousness? Which is right? And both are just perception. It's not true. Take another example. A lamp, an oil lamp, the lamp, the light, the color and the lamp. Can you separate the lamp and the color? No. Color is one thing, the lamp is another thing. But when they come together, you can't remove the color and only keep the lamp. So consciousness is like that color inside the lamp. You can't separate it. So what does Sariputta say in the Mahavedala Sutta? Yam vedeti tam sanjanati, yam sanjanati tam vijanati, because the vinyana is something like the color of a lamp or a fragrance of a flower. You can't cut it out and say, hey, wait, let me cut out and see. So in the same way, can't cut out the consciousness and say that, okay, let me experience without consciousness. No. Okay. So why didn't he allow them to accept to it? Is because of these reasons. Let's take the first case, where there is a contentment of the senses. However, when the person moves to the next realm of existence, these ayatanas will change. They won't remain the same. What you're experiencing in human realm is not the same in Deva realm. So you will start to get a different feeling out of the 5 senses. It would be more divine. There's an attachment to it. And hence he doesn't agree with that. Got the point? You have to go to all the 31 realms of existence. It's not only in human realm. Now, coming to the first jhana. First jhana is limited. It's a Brahma realm, the first Brahma realm. So the 6 senses will be different in the Brahma realm than the Kama Loka. So you can't accept to it that is it. This is the only perception, this is the only feeling. No. Then comes the second jhana. So there is still a different perception and different feeling. Then there is third jhana. There's a different perception and a different feeling. Then there is fourth jhana. neutral, agreeable. But then it will wait and can change. When it changes, we don't know. That's the reason it's called Viparinama Dhammo. It can change without notice. You can't do anything. So the basic thing is there shouldn't be any perception and feeling. If you don't want any perception and the feeling, then you have to eliminate the phassa, contact. That means you have to cut out the object from the senses. And when the consciousness is able to cut out the object from the senses, it stops. Okay, so let me put my practical thing, what I had experienced. I've been telling this, so this fits into this thing. Entering into VRI is phassa, contact. Contact with what? With what? Contact with the mind and Dhamma. VRI is the Dhamma. Mind is having VRI. Is there a VRI? Vipassana Research Institute? No, absolutely not. It's just a building. What's the difference between this building and that building? They both are same. Is there a Dhamma hall? No. It's just a room. Where is a Dhamma hall? Is there a female quarters and a male quarter? No. They're just body. If I can do this, then the perception is changed. Then and there. So the eyes don't see VRI. That's the point. The ears don't hear VRI. The nose doesn't smell VRI. The tongue doesn't taste VRI. The body doesn't touch VRI. Mind has no VRI. So as soon as I and Shreyas park the car, or I park the car, VRI is out. No VRI. I don't even know what registration he was doing. I'm just sitting there. In fact, another funny thing had happened. I had not carried an identity card. So then I spoke to my wife, asked her to send the identity card to Shreyas. So for that, I created the perception. And again, cut it off. So when they gave me a room, it's no different than this room. Okay. So when there is no difference with this room and that room, there is no this and that. So the mind is stilled. Mind means with the 5 sense doors, is stilled. It's not going anywhere. If it is not going anywhere, the object drops off. That's the reason Buddha talks more about Indriya Samvara. And that Indriya Samvara in a Sila gives you Nibbana, not anything else. So let's walk through this. First 1 hour of the next day, the 7th of December, morning, Dhamma Hall. 4:30 we meet. No problem. But I have a problem at 6 o'clock. Why? Because I had not done Animitta of Goenka. That is sufficient to trigger a response. Because now the consciousness, ear consciousness, hits, and there's a recognition from the mind sense door, that this is Goenka with his wonderful, crazy voice. And half an hour, it's terrible pain. I can't sit. I can't stand. I can't stand his that voice. And I know that Pali word, so feeling even more worked up. At why is this reciting in this way? I'm not abusing him. I'm not feeling anything, but I'm feeling, why is he doing this? What kind of karma he's taking, and so many things. Then it so happened, after 6:30, when I went out, supposed to take bath, then it stuck to me that I have not closed on Goenka. So ear shouldn't hear Goenka. Who is Goenka? And by next session, stopped. That was the last I heard Goenka. So now eyes gets closed, ears gets closed, nose gets closed, tongue gets closed, body gets closed, and the mind will wait now. Wait a second, May. So it will wait. So there are two kinds of vijnana. There's mano dhatu, that is the quality of the mind to pick up information, to recognize, to have a recognition. And mano vijnana dhatu, the pure conscious experience. If the five sense doors are closed, the sixth sense door has no inputs. So it stops. When it stops, it's death for the senses. So the conditioned consciousness, which is the first level, the unconditioned, the second level consciousness, subconscious, and a third level consciousness, which is unconscious, becomes conscious. So there is no trigger. There's nothing to come out or go in or do this or do that, anything. So now that is peace. No feeling. Absolutely no feeling and no perception. You can't say I'm in Nibbana. You can't say I am not in Nibbana. You can't say I am feeling Nibbana. I can't say I am not feeling Nibbana. I'm this feeling, that feeling, no feeling. No perception, no feeling. If somebody were to ask what is Nibbana, and if you can explain it, it means you have never experienced Nibbana, because you can't share that, because there's no feeling and there's no perception. So for that entire time when it was closed, the senses were closed, it's Nibbana. So Animitta, Apanihita Shunyata, that is missing in these ascetics. They don't know how to do Animitta. They are in Nimitta. They don't know how to remove the desire in the senses. They don't know Shunyata, to remove the content in the consciousness. It's the content removal which is important than the consciousness. You remove the content and that's it. What's the content? The content is whatever Nama Rupa that has been created. Just remove it. Just remove it. So the second level is the six ayatana. The first level is this, whatever we condition. Second level is six consciousness. The third level is the phassa, between the senses, sense objects, and the consciousness. And the fourth level at Arhat is when you completely cut off Nama, Rupa, and Vijnana. And now what happens is you can create whenever you want, and drop off whenever you want. Meaning, if I want to talk to Ariu, I create Ariu at that point in time. So you're just creating it. There's no real there. Now, all along, I was thinking Ariu is real, US is real, this is real, that is real. Now I have just created it. So I can always destroy it. I can throw it out. Once Ariu is gone, I just throw it. Then comes Bobby. Then I create Bobby, speak for whatever is required, and again delete Bobby. Then I get, let's say, Ashwin. And I create Ashwin and I throw out Ashwin. Then I create May. Then whatever transaction needs to be done, I do it and then throw out May. So it doesn't become an attachment on the consciousness. Got the point? Because there is no first level consciousness now. There is no second level consciousness also. There's only the third level and the fourth level. The fourth level is supreme consciousness or super consciousness. So what happens at Parinibbana, or this Nibbanic getting into Parinibbana, is the third level consciousness, which is also a condition, gets extinguished completely because there is no Nama Rupa left. There's no fuel. So the ascetics of other sect, even though they came so near, they couldn't do this. They couldn't do the phassa, removal of phassa. And hence they always carried with them Vedana and Sanya. So whether it's Alara Kalama or Uddaka Ramaputta or anyone, they did very well, but they carried with them the perception and feeling. And perception and feeling is the fuel for the next existence. So if you don't cut perception and feeling, as continuity is going to be there. So Anagami has still perception and feeling. So he is not extinguished at death. So he perceives next life, feels next life. So what I should do at death? Cut out the six sense doors completely. Then extinguish. So have I reached that stage? Answer is no. But are you near? And the answer is yes. That's the reason I asked this question. What's the origin? Or what's the source? What's the condition? And what's the reason? This is the source, phassa. This is the condition. And this is the reason. So the perception and the feeling is the source, is the condition and the reason. How that phassa came to be is because of consciousness. So what I should do? You can't cut the consciousness. Please, don't act stupid. I'll cut the consciousness. You can cut the object. Okay? Any object you can remove it because objects are created. They are not true. So the truth is, every object is named object. It's conditioned by the name and the form it takes. So can you cut the form? No. Can you cut the name? Yes. Without the name, there can't be a form. So you have to cut the name. Name not as in the person. Name as in the perception. Okay. So cut the perception. How do you cut the perception? Make it anishchit in Sanskrit, anicca in Pali, uncertain in English. Whomever you look at, is uncertain, because what you're perceiving here as a human, the dog will perceive the same thing in a different way. As we speak, if you give an object to the dog will perceive different. If you take an infant, a child, and give it something, it perceives different. It doesn't perceive the same. Okay? If you give an old man the same object, he will perceive different. He will not perceive the way you are perceiving it. So now you can see animal will perceive differently, the child will perceive differently. The mother, take this example, a child of 2-3-year-old, the mother is not wearing anything as a cloth. The child, she is comfortable with the child because her perception of the child is different, and the child perception of that woman not wearing anything is different. What happens at teenager? Is she okay to be not wearing anything in front of her own son? She will say, get out of this room, I need to change the clothes, because her perception is different. And the son all along was seeing her mother, his mother, without any dress. But can he still sit and see it? No, because his perception is different now. Let's say he has a sister. They've been playing together. But once they grow up, they can't see each other's body because the perception is different. And so the feeling is also different. So, first cut the perception. Make it anicca. It's uncertain. Then the feeling is also uncertain. What a child is seeing of mother is neutral feeling. But what the mother is having a feeling of the child is motherly feeling. But what the experience, that is the feeling husband is getting out of seeing his wife, is entirely different. And what the wife is getting of her husband is entirely different. Why? Because the perception is different. So what you should cut first then? Perception. And hence the ascetics were wrong, calling that as Nibbana. Because without perception, you can't have Nibbana. Because even having Nibbana as a perception is no Nibbana. Because you'll start feeling this is Nibbana, which is not Nibbana. So it should not have any perception, it should not have any feeling in the six sense doors. Right? So this is the cause, this is the condition, and this is the reason. I needed something like that from all of you. From this much of understanding Dhamma. Okay, hope I've answered. Any doubts, any fights you can have with me, you can. If you don't agree. Okay, all are silent means acceptance. So think it over. Why Buddha don't allow any sect, any religion at all is because they cannot cut the perception. They always have a perception. This is this. So once you make this is this, the mind or the consciousness establishes there. Let's take Brahmaloka. It get established there. It's an established consciousness. Whereas it says anidasana. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita also, those people who study it, they don't understand this. Krishna says, I am, minusing it, is anirdeshya in Sanskrit, unestablished. So that consciousness, which is unestablished, is the one. Wherever the consciousness establishes is not the one. So what's the difference between what Bhagavad Gita is saying and what Buddha is saying? They both might say the same thing, but it is hugely apart because there is no practice for this anirdeshya. How do you get there? You don't know. Whereas Buddha puts in step-by-step instruction for you to get into anirdeshya or anidasana. So if you get into anidasana, which is cutting out the feeling and perception from the consciousness, you're done. So the ninth jhana is nothing great about it. It's just that you remove the perception. So to remove the perception, you first make animitta. Bangalore to San Francisco is nimitta. So there's excitement. I'm landing in San Francisco. Stupid guy. You're not even flown from Bangalore. Pay the question of landing in San Francisco. Why? Because the body is moving from place A to place B. Why are you moving along with the body? That's all I need to see. Yes, who is sitting in the seat? The body. Just think, in that 17-hour journey, the body is taking. There's a heart attack. Whose attack? Heart attack. Did you get an attack? No. Heart got attacked. Right? So what they would do? They will place this body in a coffin and send it back to the owner. That's all they can do. So who got the seat? The body. Who got into the coffin? The body. What's your problem? So the problem is with the perception and the feeling. If you feel and perceive, you create a world. If you don't feel and perceive, you don't create a world. For creating feeling and perception, you require phassa. Got it? Contact. And in Sanskrit and Hindi, sampark. Contact. Without contact, there can't be any feeling. Yes, May, you've been raising your hand. Go ahead.
So I was just going to ask about the animita. Do you have to make, so do you have to cut off the pasta to make animita? And therefore, to observe pasta, do you have to be a katagami?
No, May, you can do it even now. Just observe. When you see your daughter and a son and husband, you're making it up. You're just perceiving it. What if you were a deva? Would you have a husband and a daughter and a son and all that? Just see that. Just in the next realm. You die now and you are born in a heavenly realm. Would you still have a connection with those dirty linen things? Who needs to take bath every day and brush the teeth and go to shit and go to urine and all that? Would you like them in the first place? Forget calling them husband or children or whatever. Would you still perceive that way?
Would there be like an affinity? Because I was just thinking in one of the, I think maybe the Jataka tales, the Bodhisattva, he became in the Deva realm, and then he came back maybe he was like, I can't remember. But anyway, he came back and told his sister he had, he felt sorry for his sister. So he came and I think maybe taught her Dharma or something. So that means you do have, like, you do remember these beings that you interact with and maybe have an affinity. Not that, but then you might see them as not your family member
Exactly.
anymore.
So you lose the perception of belongingness, yes or no?
Yes.
That's what I'm asking you. Just like this, May, I have this Apple MacBook Pro given by Ariu. It so happens that you open up, you unscrew it, and you see all parts and fan and this and that, and you lose interest. It doesn't mean that you don't feel like holding this MacBook Pro, but you're no longer attached to that MacBook Pro because you've seen there's nothing inside there. Once you unscrew it. In the same way, when you unscrew this body and see it's filled with filth, so your perception changes. And the feeling also changes along it. And that's the reason you need to do Asubha Sanya. The Sanya perception is Subha. You have to change it into Asubha Sanya. The perception is Ghana Sanya, this molded one. It's going to remain like this. You have to make it Anicca Sanya. It's uncertain. This can break anytime. Just like a glass can break anytime. You have to take care of the glass, but still it will break sometime. In the same way, this body is going to break sometime. It's just a matter of time. So you're going to throw the body out. Every one of us are going to throw the body out. Everyone. Now, everyone in this group are going to throw the body one way or the other. And we throw the body every night when we go to sleep. We don't have a body. You don't carry a body when you go to sleep. And hence you can dream. And hence you are going to deep sleep because there's no body. So are you really alive after sleeping? And the answer is no. Are you dead then when you are sleeping? And the answer is no. Because there is perception and feeling. What if you cut off perception and feeling? Then you're Nibbana. Yes, Sharif.
I was just thinking that yesterday I was trying to say these people were perceiving and feeling the jhana as well.
Okay, appreciate it. But you need to know the entire thing is because of the phassa. So what's the source? If somebody asks you, what's the source? The phassa is the source. What's the condition? The phassa is the condition. What's the reason? Phassa is the reason. And then if there was a Buddha, he would have said, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking in the Mulaka Sutta, right? He said the interest is the root. So for
Chanda
this,
Mulaka, that is separate. I'm talking about this in the next section. I was thinking somebody smart enough will read the sutta, the below ones, and that the answer itself is there. Okay, but I didn't know that you're so naive that you don't even read it and you're back in the same place as you were like yesterday. I thank you for that. Because if you had read it, you would have answered it. You would have said, yeah, I came to know the reason, I came to know the source, and then I was wondering, will they ever get it? It's there, the next section. Where we left, the next section is that. He says, all 62 views, I'm not agreeing to it because of this. And I said, oh shit, I gave time till Wednesday. But
I was thinking we have one extra day and I did not have time since last night.
Fine. I mean, you didn't have.
Actually, I have read the rest of the things, but I was not what I was not expecting what is the answer you want to be, but I read that next he is talking about the basa, how the contact will condition everything. So still he that also he considers as a wrong view.
No. He says with not knowing, that is a wrong view.
Yeah, not knowing.
It's not the pasa is a wrong view. Then
No,
there is
what
no.
I mean is, yeah.
See, until unless you cut contact of the sense object, please understand, you can't cut consciousness. Don't think you can cut consciousness. It's foolishness. You can't cut eye consciousness because eye knows to see. That's the reason Bahya he says, dhite dhite mattam. Seeing, there's only seeing. He doesn't say cut eye consciousness itself. No. The job of eyes is to see. The job of ear is to hear. Job of nose is to smell. The job of the tongue is to taste. The job of the body is to touch. Job of the mind is to cognize. That's it. But the objects are created. They are not real. But the consciousness takes it to be real because it perceives reality in the object. Like when you marry someone, you create an object called wife. There is no wife there. Come on, have you gone mad? You just created something. You might have written it on paper. I solemnly declare that I would like to give my daughter in marriage to this person, blah, blah, blah. But that has got nothing to do with wife. Where is the wife? You show me the wife. You show me the husband. No, cannot be found. Show me an employee. You can show the badge. You can show an ID card. But where is the employee? Show me in flesh and blood. Show me an employee. Show me a passenger on the flight. You'll show the same body. No, I want a passenger. No, he's the passenger. Bullshit. Show me the passenger. Like that. So there is only created. So whatever is created is getting destroyed. Whatever is uncreated will not get destroyed. That's the reason it's called as anirdeshya. Why? It's neither created. What you can't create, you can't destroy it. What you create, it gets destroyed because it is not true. And that perception that it is true has to be changed. That is yoniso manasikara. You go to the root of it and see it's just indicated. It's not real. Just like calling something as Mediterranean Sea, Pacific Ocean. Can you show me Pacific Ocean in every bit, every droplet of that ocean? It's just an ocean. Ocean will dry up. It will dry up. So where's the ocean? And where is Pacific then? You are talking Pacific from the land, which is called America. What if tomorrow the ocean were to fill up the entire American, right from Atlantic side to the Pacific side, and it's completely submerged? And what happens? Where is America? Not there. Because it's created. Anything that is created is destroyed. So, yam kinchi samudaya dhammam, sabbam tam nirodha dhammam. Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam. Whatever arises as a dhamma, as a creation, as an object. Tabbam tam nirodha dhammam. Everything from there will go into nirodha. So when we go to sleep, it's nirodha. It exists. You can't say you're sleeping with your wife because wife is gone. You can't say I'm sleeping with my son because son is gone. You can't say I'm sleeping in my room because the room is gone. You can't say I'm sleeping in San Francisco. Even the United States is gone, for that matter. You can't say I'm in Australia. Australia is gone. You can't say I'm in India. India is gone. No one is there. None. Nirodha has happened. Non-arising. Unless the six sense doors come back, there's no arising. If the person were to be in coma, the six sense doors are closed. Nobody can wake him up. He's having life. That is still only an ayu, just a lifespan. There is usma. Yes, prana is there. Where is vijnana? Sleeping. So in coma patient, there's no coma for that person. Michael Schumacher went into coma for years together. Was he riding Formula One? No. Does he know he is Michael Schumacher? No. Does he know he has so much of money? No. Does he know he has a son who is also an F1 car person? No. Does he remember all of the rides he has made? No. In fact, that is a state every night for him, not only for him, for all of us. Only thing is that it got extended to him because the consciousness got cut off. With what? With the memories. That's it. So Michael Schumacher vanished in a moment. So they couldn't revive him. Till when? We don't know. Because the recognition is perception. So what he lost was the perception. And that mind loses perception, it can't feel anything now. It can't feel I'm Michael Schumacher. Formula One of Paris or US or this or that, all that is gone. All money, all position he had, everything gone. There's nothing. So, as long as the consciousness has a perception, so long the person exists. As soon as the perception goes, the person departs. And that is how you can see these ascetics who came so near into Nibbana could not attain Nibbana. They came very near. If they had understood Phassa, they would have been like Buddha. They did everything right. They looked at anicca, they looked at dukkha, they looked at viparinama dhamma, except that they perceived self and they felt self. So what's the difference between those ascetics and anagami? Is that the anagami is not able to let go of the Buddha Dhamma because he is perceiving Buddha Dhamma, he is holding on to the view of Buddha Dhamma, he is feeling Buddha Dhamma. That is the problem. The sooner I let go of both the Buddha Dhamma and the Dhamma itself completely, like what Buddha explains, holding like a raft, Arhat Phala Samapat is going to happen. Yes, Bobby.
Vilashi, I don't know how clear I can put this question. So you are saying like a lamp and the light,
Lamp
this
and the color.
color, yeah, the consciousness and the object always comes together. So you also say that, especially with these five sense doors, that's how it always happens. It comes, the eye consciousness and the objects comes together. But when you are meditating, mostly when all these five sense doors are closed, you are having these feelings. Feelings is very dominant. Whatever, even the thoughts also get still, and the feelings is still there. So the consciousness is like latching to the feeling,
Yes.
and then that maybe that self feeling is still there. So maybe that's what you are explaining, that the perception of the feeling, the perception and the feeling is still there. But is it like you told different four stages of getting rid of this self. Like the first stage, it is the named self. So definitely that is not there in that state. That only this feeling. So what is my question is that even in the basic level for a Sutapanna or something, this perception and the feeling which I was explaining now, that has to go only when that Nibbanic experience happens.
No, what happens is during the Nibbanic experience, this would have gone and he wouldn't be able to notice it. It's so quick that you can't really see it. The sense door closes and he feels blissed out, but he can't hold it for long.
That means this happens for a second, you might have not noticed it.
Yes.
That is possible.
Yes,
But then
absolutely.
I think I've read I asked you this question before, some suttas, that this experience, like a king anointed, like, the prince asked the king, he will never forget that day when he was, become a king, that day he's like a king. So for same way, a person who is having this experience, he will never forget that.
Yes, absolutely. So there's he's not forgotten that, but he doesn't know how to get there. That's a difference. It's not about forgetting it. You will not forget, but you don't know how to get back there.
So this perception and like consciousness joining to the perception and the feeling which you are taking in it considers as a self, that will continuously go only for an arahant.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah, only for an arahant, because he's acting basically like
Drama.
every time.
Drama.
Yeah, he's acting. Yeah, it's drama. He's doing a drama, and when he is into parinibbana, everything is gone. It's all finished.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's right. Okay, so I think we are done.
Thank you. Thank you, Vilasi. Thank you.
Okay. All good? Got the answer? मीनाक्षी जी कहिए.
कल बहुत ये हो रहा था सर, क्वेश्चन वो सब पढ़ रहे थे, सूत्र वगैरह समझ में नहीं आया. अभी आपने बताया तो समझ.
ठीक है, आपको समझ में आ गया ना, अच्छी बात. Good.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच.
So, just to before conclusion, how to attain Nibbana? Okay. Cut out the object of the eyes. See what really it is. You see your wife, kid, this, that, all that is named one. It's named one. That's the first level. Second level is it's coming in the six sense doors. Just an object comes to the door. It's up to you to welcome it or not to welcome it. So Buddha says, don't welcome it. Say thanks. Okay, go. Somebody comes at your door. Will you allow everyone to come inside the door? No. You say, go. Not place. So the object will go away. Second. And the third level is the contact. You see the contact point. If there is an interest, chanda, that now I'm coming to that thing, chanda, are you? Now don't create interest on that object. Create interest on the truth. What really it is. It's just an object. Object will come, object will go. because the object cannot be retained in the senses. You can't hold it. There's no way, there's nothing to hold there. So, Hassa will create Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara. So, don't allow Phassa to happen. Just observe the Phassa. The Phassa is not happening. Sampark, not happening. It waits. Then the Nama Rupa gets split out. Because the Rupa cannot stay without Nama. When there is no Nama at all, there can't be any Rupa. So the wife will die. The son will die. The father will die. The mother will die. The himself will die. The house will die. The road will die. Country will die. Everything dies out. Without existence. Because just a named one. So on the Vijnana, which is reflecting, the reflection is removed. What do you mean by that? Take a sun up. Take a bucket of water. Sun is inside this water as though it is real. The clouds are going. Oh, then this. Also, you'll see the clouds here in the bucket. The birds flying, you'll see the birds also in that. It's not real. Throw the bucket. The water goes away. Now you hold the sun. You can't. That's exactly what it is. That's the original. This is the reflective. This consciousness is reflective. It's not real. But it acts like real. It perceives as real. But it's just perception. Just like the bucket falls down and the water is drained, and you keep the bucket, no sun. So the question is asked, was the sun there in the bucket? There is no. Wasn't the sun there in the bucket? And the answer is yes. How did the sun came to be? Because of the condition. The condition was water. As long as the fuel is there in the bucket, the sun is going to come. If there is no fuel, there is no sun. That's exactly what Mahatana Sankhya Sutta is all about. If you don't have any fuel, will there be a fire? No. So fuel and fire are interlinked. You don't give the fuel, there's no fire. The Vijnana will not get established if there is no fuel. You have to see it in this way. So 4 levels of practice. First level, cut the named one, like just see what really it is. Then the second, look at the 6 sense doors. Somebody will come at the sense door. Don't allow. Don't allow to your home. They'll make house. They'll come and stay at your home. No. Don't welcome. The Buddha says, Nandi. Don't bring it. Okay? Relishing. Don't relish it. Third one, Phassa. Serve the contact point. Fourth one, the Nama Rupa will get destroyed. Out. So leaving out only the Vijnana. Consciousness. That's the pure Vijnana. Pure consciousness. Because there is no condition for it to get established, it will never get established. Okay, so let's end for today then. I have concluded, I have given you discourse in every different ways to understand the Dhamma. So what's the difference between Arhat and Anagami? They both are same. Only difference here is not able to let go of the Buddha Dhamma. So the question shouldn't come, am I Anagami or am I Saktagami, am I Sotapanna and all that. Because you can penetrate into the Dhamma. Yes, Bobby, you wanted to say something and I thought you wanted to say.
No, actually I was going to say magnificent, Gautam, magnificent.
Okay. Yeah, Gautam, You've been wanting to talk. I don't know, for some reason you are not able to talk. Gautam, we can't hear you in case you're talking.
Pasta is not happening.
Yeah, the passa with the mic is not happening. Maybe he's already become arhat. So there's no need for him to have passa. Okay, Mr. Arhat Gautam, we are closing for the day today.